Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Gist and Unwind. It is a privilege and it's an honor and a pleasure to have you here with me. I have a pharmacy question for you today, but before we do that, let me introduce myself a little bit. My name is Nonye. If this is your first time listening to me, welcome. I already have a few episodes on this channel, but they don't have any video to it. And then I have a few on SoundCloud under the profile Gist and Unwind. That's where I have been experimenting and doing a little this and that with this medium. I don't know what this is going to become, but we're trying it out. Anyway, so my name is Nonye. I am a practicing community pharmacist. As a result of this, I get a lot of questions every time I go to work. People come to me asking me different suggestions, therapy, remedy for different things that they are dealing with. It is one of the better, if not best part of my job, where I get to actually talk to people, brainstorm with them, make suggestions with them, and problem solve. And beyond that, just connecting with people, talking, having conversations. That's what I like to do. I like to gist. But so whenever I get good questions or repeat questions that I think that are worthy of sharing with the masses, my goal is to come on here with you guys and share it with you, and hopefully it can help you or it can help someone you know. So this video, we're going to be talking about a topic called atrophic vaginitis or vulvar or vaginal atrophy. Fancy words to describe what is ultimately a drier and less elastic vagina and all the problems that come along with it. So before I go into that, let me talk about the question that I got. I was working on a Sunday. It was a Sunday morning, and this lady came up to pick up a prescription for her husband. And she, I counseled her. It was cyclobenzaprine, muscle relaxant. So after I counseled her on the medication, I asked her if she has any questions, and she said, no, I don't have anything else for my husband, but I have a question for myself. And I said, okay, what's going on? And she said, girl, I can't take it anymore. Like, I cannot take it anymore. Having sex with my husband is like being a virgin all over again. It is terrible. It's miserable. It's just not fun, And she said she had just gone into menopause. She was going into it a little bit early because of some medical reasons in her life. And she was obviously still sexually active with her man. And she wanted to continue that part of their relationship, which is understandable. But it was just becoming unbearable for her. So she said, look, it's not funny, I'm sorry if you're watching and you feel like I'm laughing at you. I'm not. It's not funny. But guess what? We're gonna take care of this in this video. So she's like, what suggestions do you have for me? So like I said, what she's experiencing, it's called vaginal atrophy or atrophic vaginitis. Basically, because of a decline and prolonged drop in estrogen level, the vagina gets thinner. The vagina walls are thinner, they're drier, they're less lubricated and less elastic, and sometimes it becomes inflamed, and even sometimes it becomes narrower and shorter. And so what happens is you get a lot of irritation, burning, itching, and if you're having sex, it could be painful. So this is, it's a constellation of problems. But what is ultimately happening is that there's a decline in estrogen, and that's what it results to. As women, a lot of things about us are governed by the balance in the estrogen level and the progesterone levels, our hormone levels, So whenever anything happens that drops that, it causes things down the line, and this is one of them. Now, unlike your other menopausal symptoms, these don't go away with time. As long as there's that decline in estrogen level and it stays down, it doesn't go away with time, because it's estrogen that keeps the vagina the way it is pre-menopausal stage. It keeps it lubricated, it keeps the walls thick, it keeps it healthy, it helps maintain that ideal pH for a vagina, and once that's gone, it's gone and it doesn't come back. So, but unlike other menopausal symptoms like your hot flashes, your night sweats, that goes away. Those go away with time. But these vaginal issues, or these vaginal situations, they stay like that. So it's in your best interest, if you want to maintain that that part of your life, that sexual part of your life, and also if you just don't want to deal with the irritation, because the irritation is not only when you're having sex. For some women, if you want to deal with it, it's in your best interest to look into options, because it's something that's going to stay there. Now, what is the prevalence? How often does this happen? Well, if you read, if you look at studies, most studies that have been done suggest that a lot of women are going through this, a lot. And the crazy and kind of sad thing about it is that most people are not talking about it. Most women are not talking about it because they're ashamed of it, or they feel like it's something that just happens and you just have to deal with it. There's no remedy. That's just what it is, and you just have to be like that. Majority of women are not dealing with it. I think I read, one of the things I read said there are about 32 million women dealing with this, and 2 million out of 32 million have spoken up or asked for help about it. So clearly there's an unmet need in this area. And hopefully I could be of help to you. I could be of help to someone that that needs this help. So we've talked about, I'm going through my, what to do. I've greeted you guys. I've introduced myself. I talked to you about my question. I've talked about the prevalence. I've described to you what's happening. So let's talk about what we can do for help. Well, we're going to start with the over-the-counter items, the part that don't need a doctor, that you can do for yourself. But before I do that, I do want to talk about one thing that if you're experiencing this, I would suggest that you don't try to self-medicate at this point, but actually go talk to your doctor. If you have been through menopause, right, or you're going through menopause, well, if you have been through menopause and this is happening to you, and as a result of this, sometimes you get spotting or bleeding, I want you to go talk to your doctor, because whenever, if you still have a uterus, especially, because whenever you have a uterus and you're bleeding and you've been through menopause, we want to make sure that, nothing crazy or funky is going on behind that. So that's the one criteria I'm going to tell you, that if you're experiencing that, stop this video. Well, not stop, you can finish listening, but you need to speak with a healthcare professional. If you have been through menopause, you have an intact uterus, and you're bleeding, like after you guys have sex, they're still spotting, or even after, not just when you're having sex, but you're spotting, go ahead and go see your doctor, so that we make sure that there's nothing crazy going on there. So other than that, so what can we do to get rid of this, to help us with this? The first thing that you could do is a lot of frequent sex. Yes, lots and lots of frequent sex. Studies have shown that women who are more sexually active and are sexually active consistently tend to not go through this, have this atrophy problem. And if they do, it's not as severe as the women who are not having sex. So the first thing is, try to have more sex and try to have it frequently. If this is not an option that is available to you, or it's an option that is available to you, but you cannot bear to take that on right now, the next thing that you're going to do is try to use lubricants. You could use it just while you're having sex, and you can use it while you're not having sex. Lots of lubricants. You can't use too much of it. Use it liberally. Use copious amounts. At least for the first time that you use it, and then you can tailor it to your specific needs. You apply it to the outside of the vulva, or the vulva, which is on the outside, and then you apply it to the tip of the penis. Again, you can't use too much. If you need it when you're not having sex, go for it. But now if you find that you're needing some kind of remedy or help even when you're not having sex, then you want to go into, let me give you examples of lubricants. You want to use water-based lubricants. Water-based because those are the safest for, they're just safest, especially if you're using things like diaphragm and condoms. They don't damage those. Examples of that is KY Jelly, Astroglide. You could just type on Google water-based lubricants and it will lead you to pharmacies that just give you examples of just water-based lubricants, so that you don't have to guess. I know that some people are too shy to go ask their pharmacist in the pharmacy, oh, which one of these are water-based? Some of you are shy to do that. If you are, just, KY Jelly, Astroglide, or you can Google and you can get that. The next thing, if you feel like you're needing something beyond the times that you're having sex, is moisturizers, vaginal moisturizers. There's quite a few of these. The one that I see most often is Replens, Replens, Replens. This is over the counter. You can order it online, or you can go into the stores and buy it. And this you could apply more scheduled. Like, you just don't have to use it when you're having sex. Like, you could do it on a schedule to help take care of your symptoms. So that's it. The first things that you do, try to have more sex. The second thing is use lubricants when you're having sex. You could then, beyond that, you can use moisturizers when you're not having sex and do it on a scheduled pattern to help you with your symptoms. Beyond that, the next thing that we could do is, like, we're starting to head more into the pharmaceutical agents. We're going to start using agents that mimic the effects of estrogen in our body, make our body think there's still estrogen. Get something that's going to knock on all those doors that the estrogen knocks on in the vagina to get things moving. The first thing that you could use is what we call the phytoestrogens. These are plant estrogens. And there are studies that show that they kind of mimic the effects of estrogen in the body. These, I find, are sometimes hit or miss depending on what you read and the patient that you talk to. I find patients that say that it works for them, and some say that it doesn't work. It's going to give you more of a global effect because you're going to take it as a pill, and it should help with just the decline in estrogen, the symptoms that it's happening globally and all over. This video, I'm focusing specifically on what's going on in the vagina. Now, there's going to be other things going on systemically. I have another video for that. Please make sure you check that out. But if that's not what we're focusing on here. So you could try the phytoestrogens. One of the common products that it comes in is the Estroven, ESTROV as in Victor, EN. These are soy-based products, and like I said, sometimes they're hit or miss, but it's worth a try to see if it's going to help you. And then after that, now we start moving into things that if you live in the United States, you're going to need a prescription. You're going to have to sit down with your doctor and have a discussion about it. I think the most important thing that I want you to get from this video is that it's not something that you should be ashamed of. It is not something that you should, feel bad about or feel like you have to deal with it. There's help. These companies are actively making products because they understand that it's an unmet need. And whenever you can have a product that meets a need, it's good business for you. So just recently, there were 2 new prescription drugs that were approved for just this, for painful sex, So speak up, speak to someone about it, speak to your pharmacist, speak to your nurse when you're going to see your doctor, speak to your doctor about it. And you guys can talk about your options. I could talk to you about what's available right now, but like I said, you're going to have to speak to a doctor because we're going to have to go through your medical history and tailor your therapy for you, especially because there's some things that you have, like if you are a cancer survivor or if you're predisposed to certain cancers that are responsive to hormonal therapy or things that mimic hormone in your body may not be ideal for you. It may be, but again, you need to sit down with someone and you guys are going to have these discussions. And then there are options, and you have to think about which is better for you or which is best suited for you and your lifestyle, and also costs. Some of them are more expensive than the others, but again, this requires conversation. I'm just encouraging you to have conversation and know that there's help for you. And I'm going to talk to you about, the different products that are available. So we've talked about over-the-counter items. Try those first. And if those don't help you, call your doctor and sit down with your doctor, and you guys are going to talk about your different options. The first thing is that you can just use estrogen creams locally. Again, we don't necessarily want to start going global unless we have to. Again, this is something that's going to come from a discussion with your physician. But if we're just sticking to just dealing with this local effect, which some women are okay with it, they're okay with dealing with, the night sweats, the whatever, the hot flashes, the irritation, that's fine, but I don't want to experience this. Can I get something that would just help me with this part of the problem, which is the painful sex part of it, and the irritation and all the other symptoms that come along in that particular area. So the first thing that you could do is estrogen creams or estrogen tablets. There are quite a few of these, and I think these are probably going to be your cheaper options. Again, they require prescription and they require discussion to make sure that they are ideal for you. After that, then there are 3 drugs actually that are FDA approved for this particular problem. The first and oldest is Osphena, Osphena. Osphena it acts on the receptors, the estrogen receptors in the vagina. So basically, it comes and knocks on those doors and says, "Hey, guys, I need you guys to open this door, and I need y'all to start, making more fluids because it's too dry around here. Hey, I need these walls to be a little bit more stretchy. Let's get to it's not as stretchy as it needs to be." So it acts as if there's estrogen in that area, and it activates some changes that are going to be favorable for what the vagina is designed to do. So that's Osphena. After that, there's a new drug that is called Intrarosa. This acts like it's like a man-made pre-hormone or hormone that your body now converts to sex hormones like your estrogen and your progesterone. So again, what we're doing is trying to have estrogen in that area and have estrogen-like effects to help us with what we're dealing with. And then the last one is Imvexxy. It's spelled Imvexxy. Imvexxy. I can't think of any other way to say this. It's Imvexxy. I like calling it Imvexxy. That's going to be a funny, when you're in the pharmacy and you're like, you're sometimes for whatever reason you need to say the name of a drug. You're like, "Oh, can you give me the Imvexxy?" I like that name. So Imvexxy is now available for you as well. Again, it's just to help with moderate to severe painful sex. That's it. Those are all your options. So let me quickly recap. First things first is lots of sex. Second, lubricant. Third, moisturizers. Beyond that, we go into pharmaceutical agents. You can use the soy-based products that you can find online, and online or in your pharmacy. Or then beyond that, you could have a sit down with your doctor and they could write you prescriptions for either estrogen tablets or one of these 3 drugs, Osphena, Intrarosa, or Imvexxy. I hope this has been very, very helpful for you. If it hasn't, let me know. If it has, let me know. Leave a comment, rate, and subscribe. If you have any questions that you'd like me to address, I don't just talk about women stuff. which I don't have a problem doing that. I just want you guys to know that I talk about just a variety of questions that I get in the pharmacy. There's another video that's going to be just for menopause, like the global something, you know, not just a localized vagina issue, but the other things that are going on. If you need help for that, you know, check that out. And again, don't feel bad about it. This is something that if we're lucky and blessed, we're going to live long enough to experience it. So it's not something to feel ashamed about. Anyways, I digress, or I don't. But thank you for watching. Thank you for your time. I really appreciate it. Until next time, I'll see you later. Bye.